So today we're going to talk about 4 reasons and benefits to branding your business. First of all, before we get into the reasons why you should be branding your small business, let's talk about what your brand is, right? A lot of people think about your brand is your colors, your brand is your fonts, all of the different visual aesthetics that describe your brand that people see when they scroll through your timeline. Yes, that is part of your brand, but a really big part that people forget is that your brand is really what people see, what they remember, what they think about every time they think of your business, right? These are the things that come up for them when you're not in the room. These are the things that come up for them, the experience, like perception of experience before they even buy from you is part of your brand. If folks cannot remember you, if your brand is not memorable, if your brand does not stand out, you are going to be easily overlooked, you're going to be easily forgotten, and your brand is not going to get the kind of positioning or make the kind of impact that you want it to make. So when you think about your brand, I really want you to expand your mind beyond colors, fonts, design. All of that is part of it. That's the visual aspect of your brand. But the really important part of your brand is really what people think and feel about your brand, about the experience that they have with you when they first meet you, when they purchase with you, when they work with you, the offboarding. All of that is part of your branding experience. So all of that is really important to take into account when you are building your business and developing your brand. Let's talk about the 4 reasons why you should think about and really spend some time and energy to develop your brand so that you can grow your business profitably. Number 1 reason why you should brand your small business or put some energy and focus into branding your small business is your brand is what attracts your customers. We just described or defined what your brand is, right? The colors, the fonts, all of those beautiful things. But again, the perception of experience. The perception of experience is the things people feel, the feeling that your brand evokes for them before they spend any kind of money with you. Your customers will understand who you are and what you offer. And if they understand who you are and what you offer because you've succinctly articulated it in your brand, they will want to work with you. At that point, they start thinking about doing business with you. When they trust you and begin to love you, then they start to tell people about you. But your branding is what sets the foundation for them to even consider working with you. So your brand is what attracts your customers, is what attracts your clients. And especially when you're a service-based business, you don't have the tangible product. You don't have the physical product to hold up and say, hey, this is what I'm selling. This is what it does. Remember this product. You are the product. When you're a service-based business, you are the service. You're going to be delivering the service personally. So your personal brand, your business brand, all of that is intangible because what you give to your customer or the results that they get from you is their transformation. Especially when you're a service-based business, you want to make sure that you spend some time and some effort in developing the brand that you want people to see, the brand that you want people to remember, the brand that you want to inspire people to work with you. You'll be able to grow your business and grow your brand further with a well-planned and brand consistent marketing strategy, all of the different strategies that you're going to employ to attract those customers. Before you can employ any of or deploy any of those strategies, you have to have a succinct brand. You have to have a strong foundation for your brand that people are going to remember about you. All right. So that's number 1. Your brand is what attracts people. Before they even think about working with you, it's your brand that they see first. Number 2, your brand builds your credibility. If you want folks to trust you, if you want folks to do business with you, if you want folks to believe that you are the expert in their field that is going to help them, that is going to give them what they need, that is going to provide the solutions to their problem, that is going to provide that transformation that they so are desperately seeking, you need to look the part, you need to play the part, you need to act the part, you need to embody all of that. It gives you credibility. Before people start to trust you, before they start to spend money with you, they want to know that you're the person that can help them. They want to know that you're the person that can give them exactly what they need. So if you don't have a succinct brand, if you don't have a cohesive brand, if your brand does not say or tell or give the impression or the perception that you're the person to help them, they're not going to do business with you. They're going to keep scrolling because you you are not credible enough for them to spend money with. So you certainly need to think about the perception that you want to create. You want to think about the experience that you want them to know that they're going to have once they sign on with you. Imagine if you were going on a first date and you're really excited to go on this first date. It's a blind date. You've never met this person before. You've just been talking. And then they tell you that they don't brush their teeth. Brushing teeth is for suckers. I don't do that, right? I just let my mouth do what it do. Will you still go on that date? Will you still be interested in them? Right? So think about your brand as that impression, as that experience, because you're the person that's going on a date with somebody who does not brush their teeth. All you're going to be thinking about is, oh, bacteria, like your breath stink. Like, I don't want to sit across from somebody who doesn't brush their teeth. I'm not saying your brand doesn't brush your teeth, but like use the same analogy to think about your brand. It's what people think of you before they enter into an agreement with you. It's what people think they're going to experience before they enter into an agreement with you. So you certainly want to make sure that you are setting the scene for them. You're giving them a good perception, things to mull around, things to think about, things to inspire and captivate them and convince them that you're the person to do this work with them. Okay? Nobody wants to go on a date with anybody with funky breath. Like, come on now. So exactly, like you certainly want to think about your brand in those terms. Like, what are the things that how is your brand presented? Are you credible enough? Are people going to want to enter an agreement with you once they sit across the table from you? Are they convinced that you're the person to solve their problem? Okay, so that's number 2, your brand. Your brand builds credibility. If you put energy, focus, time into developing a strong foundation for your brand, a strong, succinct brand, a strong, cohesive brand that articulates your brand message and articulates your brand values, articulates what you do, who you do it for, how you do it for them, you won't have to convince people when you get them across the table from you. Number 3, now let's talk about your brand making you memorable, making your business memorable. So we've talked about, building that perception of experience. We've talked about creating an impression in your prospective client's mind. Well, your brand is what they're going to remember when they leave you. If you're on this live right now, you're probably going to remember 1 or 2 things about what I said, but you're going to remember how I talk to you. You're going to remember the feelings that this is evoking for you. You're going to remember how you feel in this space. You're going to remember if you think what I'm talking about is bullshit. You're going to remember if you think what I'm talking about is valuable. You're going to remember some things about my brand, about the Brand to Profits Academy, about Victoria, that you're going to take away with you that's either going to turn you off, I hope not, or it's going to inspire you to dig a little bit deeper, to tap into my tribe a little bit more, to tap into what I do and say, maybe she is the one, maybe she's not the one. But you're going to leave here with something today. So when you put time and effort into building your brand and really creating a strong foundation for your brand, it's going to make you a lot more memorable than people who aren't, especially when you really tap into your brand values, those things that make you different from everyone else in your industry, those things that set you apart from the crowd, those things that, elevate you above your competitors. Those are the things that your prospective clients are going to remember. Those are the things that your prospective clients are going to hold with them. They're going to take that with them. And even if you are not the person for them, and they may know somebody who needs your services, those are the things that's going to come back up when those conversations come up. Remembering that your brand is the perception of experience. Your brand is what people feel, think when you're not in the room. So you want to make sure that you really spend some time and some effort and some energy and some focus in making that brand memorable, because you need to be memorable in order for people to remember who you are, especially if they're not convinced or captivated right from go to work with you. So that's number 3. Number 3, your brand will make you memorable. It will make your business memorable. It will make your business top of mind. Number 4, your brand will make you look bigger. You could have a small operation. You could be a solopreneur where it's just you. You're the CEO, you're the janitor, you're the graphic designer, you're the social media manager, you're everything in your business. But when you have a well thought out, a well put together, a well articulated brand, it makes you look larger than life. If you're telling your people, like if you are letting people know that, hey, I'm a solopreneur, so the delays in, getting your service and your product to you is because it's just me. You're telling people that I'm a small-time vendor. You're telling people that I'm a small business. You're telling people that you're not at the place where you can fulfill the things that you say you're going to do for them efficiently. You're not yet delivering that wow experience that's going to make them want to come back and tell everybody about you. That's how they're going to want to pay you. That's how they're going to view you. That's how they're going to want to compensate you, because you're a small time business. But when you have a well thought out brand, and I'm not saying that you're telling stories. I'm not saying that you build this perception that makes it feel as though you have 50 people working in your brand, but you're honest in the sense that this is just me. But because of the way that you've thought out your brand, because of the way that you've set up your brand, because of your brand messaging, because of your consistency in brand messaging, because of your consistency and your commitment to making sure that the perception of experience is always at a high level, people will think whether you've got 1,000 people working back there or you have a well-oiled machine helping you to run your business. So when you get on a call with somebody and you say your program is 4 figures, there's no question that you're going to be able to deliver on that experience, because the perception of experience is that you know what you're doing, you got what you're doing, and you've created this brand that sells your business, that sells your products, that sells your services before you even open your mouth. Okay? 4 reasons, 4 benefits to branding, spending some time and working on your brand. I really wanted to talk about this today because I've had a few conversations with folks over the last couple of weeks. I've been getting on some clarity calls and asking people what their brand is. What is your brand? Tell me about your brand. And a lot of folks would tell me, they'll give me their title. They'll tell me what it is that they do in a broad and general sense. And then they start telling me about, their website and their logo and their colors and their fonts. And again, this is all part of your brand. However, it is not the totality of your brand. When you're looking at your brand from a global, holistic view, you have the front of the brand, the front of the house that attracts and brings in the people, but you also have the back of the house, which is all part of your brand. And making sure that you have a cohesive brand, and making sure that you have a brand that translates the message that you want to get to your people, and making sure that you have a brand that makes sense for you and for your client. You need to put in some time. You need to put in some energy. You need to put in some focus. You're going to need to put in some work, right? Really identifying who it is that you want to serve. Really identifying how it is that you want to serve them. Really identifying what it is that you serve them with, and how what it is you serve them with provides a transformation for them. All of that is included in your brand. All of that informs how you build that perception of experience. And at the end of the day, we want to build a great perception of experience so that people who have not yet experienced our brand know that we are experts in what we say we're experts in, and we are the expert to work with them. We are the expert to help provide a solution to their problem or their challenge. We are the expert to help provide that transformation that they're looking for. Quick recap: 4 reasons and 4 benefits to branding your small business. Number 1 is your brand is what attracts your clients. Your brand is what attracts your customers, especially if you're a service-based business. Like, you don't have a choice but to build your brand. Your brand is the start of your money, child. Okay, let's just, if you don't have a brand that is recognizable, you don't have a brand that people vibe with, you don't have a brand that people even care to pay attention to, you're not going to get any money. That's just that's just the fact. Your brand attracts your clients and your customers. Number 2, your brand builds credibility. Your brand helps to establish your positioning, helps to establish your position of authority as the expert in your field. You need to make sure that your brand, what you're putting out there, is representative of your expertise, your experience, your passion, what it is that you do, how it is that you serve people. You give them the work, you give them the value to establish that credibility. All of that is part of your brand. Number 3, your brand makes you memorable Again, if you don't have a cohesive brand, if you don't have a brand that makes sense for you or your clients, your brand could make sense for you, but if it doesn't make sense to the people that you're trying to serve, your brand does not make sense, ma'am, because your brand is not going to make any money. So you need to make sure that you have a cohesive, succinct, well thought out brand that is memorable enough so that when people encounter you, they will leave you better than they met you. They will leave you with something that's going to keep them engaged, keep them tuned in, keep them tapped in. And if they have a problem that you can solve, they will for sure figure out how they can stay connected to you. You want to make sure that your brand is memorable. And even if the person listening to you is not the one that you're going to solve the problem for, they may know somebody. But if they don't remember you, if you're not memorable, they don't remember you. They come to your life and like, oh, that's cool, that's cute, or how fit's nice, but they don't remember anything that you said. They don't remember anything that you gave them. They don't remember any tips. They don't remember anything. They're going to leave you the same as they met you and then just going to go about their merry business. So you want to make sure that your brand is memorable. The messages that you put out, the visuals that you're putting out there, everything about your brand is memorable so that people will not only remember to stay connected with you, but they will also remember to tell people about you. And number four reason why you should spend some time in developing your brand, and also a benefit to developing said brand, is your brand makes you look bigger. If you spend the right amount of time, right amount of energy to really develop a cohesive brand, to develop an articulate brand, to develop a succinct brand that translates or delivers the kind of perception of experience that you want to deliver, people will think you've got 1,000 people working behind the scenes. People will think either you've got 1,000 people working behind the scenes, or you have a well-oiled machine that will be able to deliver on the promise that you're making to them. Right? If you are struggling behind the scenes and your brand is also struggling in front of the scenes, like the front of the house is messy, people are going to know. And people are going to question whether they should spend money with you, because can you deliver, right? You're not consistent. You're not this, you're not that. You want to make sure that you are able to, you spend some time in developing this brand so that you can create that perception of experience, that you are the person. Not only are you the person to deliver the services or the products, whatever it is that you're offering, but you can make good on your promise. So those are the 4 reasons and benefits to really working on your brand. Build your brand. It is imperative. Do not skip this step. Do not skip this step. And I know a lot of us, right? Our businesses started as side hustles. Our businesses started as a passion project. Our businesses started as just something that, we really like to do, and then we figured out we can make money. So boom, here we go. We have a business. But we really need to spend some time between here and where you're trying to go, or your next step or your next action. If you've not spent some time to really articulate your brand, identify your brand core concepts, identify things that build up your brand, your brand aesthetics for sure, but you want to identify what your brand values are. You want to identify who it is that you serve. Get intimate with your ideal client. It will serve you in ways that you can't even imagine. Go from serving everybody to serving a little. Just that little segment of the market is where your money is going to come from. Spend some time to articulate how your services, how your offers, how your products result in transformation for them. Really think about your brand concepts and your brand identity, the voice that you want to speak in, the keywords that you're going to be using, the keywords that describe the pain of your ideal clients, all of the different things that is necessary in building a cohesive brand identity. You may not have all the answers in one sitting. You may have some of it because you know who you want to serve and how you want to serve them. You may need to do some market research to find the other part of it, right? So maybe you think, you want to serve women and your ideal client is a woman, but you don't know how old she is. You don't know the format that she wants the program delivered. Maybe she wants one-on-one personalized. Maybe she likes a group setting, right? You may need to do some market research to find out some parts of to fill in some of the gaps in your brand identity but at least start to identify what those pieces are so that you can use that information to now speak to your people, to attract your people, to make your brand more memorable, to make, to build your credibility as the expert in your industry, and to make you look like you're a big brand. Like, you don't have to spend a ton of money to look like you're a big brand. You just have to be truly strategic.